Hello everybody, welcome to the decks of the weekend. Today I'm back from Bologna, where I've played in the LMS, as well as in the MOX playoff. This weekend I played in two quite important events. Unfortunately, I didn't do well in any of them, but I'm still happy with the deck choice because I think it was a very good metagame call, which was Rack the Scam. At the beginning of last week, I was testing for those events, starting with Murktide. I felt that the card Orcish Bowmaster was such a beating for Murktide and was just such a great card overall that I had to play with this card. I felt that while a lot of people were focusing on the ring, I think that this was actually the best card of the set. Uh, I think this was the best shell for it, and it did so well this weekend. The list I have in front of me is from Alberto Franchi Bianchi, who won the tournament. Kind of funny story, as he approached me on Friday in the Ultimate Guard meet and beat, where I was playing for the Ultimate Guard. If you beat me, you get a pack of Cortex. And he challenged me and he asked me a lot of questions about Rakdos Scam. So I gave him my list, which you could have found in the YouTube video anyway. With some minor changes that we talked about. For example, the mountain over Blood Crypt, and he went all the way and won the tournament. And another person also in the top 8 with similar story in the meet and beat. So obviously, I'm very happy to share these stories with the players that actually do well. As you know, my job is mostly a content creator these days, and then also player. So while I might have had a how do you say a not the best weekend play wise, I think it was a very good success for my content creation results. So yeah, 3 Rakdos Scam made the top 8 of LMS Bologna. 3 Rakdos Scam made the top 4 of the MOX playoff, the event where I also played Rakdos Scam, winning the whole thing, Quattro, over there, qualifying to the MOX. This deck is clearly the best deck in the format, whereas 4-color Omnath failed terribly. 0 in the MOX playoff. The highest performing one in Bologna, I believe, was 18, and it was the most popular deck. Creativity was the third most popular deck and finished 22nd, the best performing one. So the Lilan Binding decks did very, very poorly. Yeah, Orcish Bowmaster definitely better than the One Ring in Modern so far. Although there are a couple of the One Ring decks in that top 8, which we can check together on MTG Melee. As always, if you're looking for results, MTG Melee is very easy to browse. You go to Decklist, Decklist database, and then you go to Modern in particular, and you'll find the format we're talking about, which is the Grand Open Qualifier Bologna. The whole event is was a main event on Saturday. It was 2 days. Made day 2 with 7-2, and then on Sunday we had a classic qualifier, which I also competed. That one's a pioneer. I also did not do well in that one, so not a great weekend for me in these events. But again, lots of friends, a lot of food, played some side events. I did well there. I went home with at least something to 2 boxes from the Triple Ups event. Anyway, this is the top 8. I'm gonna Titan by Ricardo Gorla first. He was playing with the One Ring, and then also Enrico Mercurio on Monoblock Control, also playing with the One Ring. The Yugmots deck also playing the One Ring, but overall there's definitely way more orcs than rings in this in this top 8. One is a Murktide player managed to get there, and they finished in second place. Michael Hundagraber from Austria. Congrats to them. There he's not playing any Ledger Shredder, which is very interesting, and definitely part of the success is because Ledger Shredder is very bad against the orc, and you know, you don't want to play the orc, but like this deck is just so bad against the orc, unfortunately. Like if that card resolves, that's why I guess you see this Tourster and Scolding in the sideboard. This list, I believe, comes from Piegonti. Maybe Michael changed some cards, but I've definitely saw this list in Piegonti's Twitter before the tournament with a couple of subtlety. But anyway, this is the modern format. This tournament, 4-color was cannibalized. People that don't play modern in my comments on YouTube and Twitch or about banning the ring, but obviously the real format is self how do you say, the modern is always self-correcting. Tron was the most popular deck in day 2, although the highest performing one is 13, so while does that very well, it wasn't extraordinary good. The Magic is fun, always fun to new set, comes in, changes cards, and you gotta figure out what to play. Take the boring comments out of here, the ban this, ban that. The cool thing is what to play at these important event. I don't know if I mentioned it, but this event has 676 players. Based on this event, there will be the Pro Tour at the end of the month in Barcelona, and there will be a lot of shakes up there. So very interesting format, very good to play. Enjoy it, and yeah, let's keep on bringing that positivity rather than always calling for bans when the cards just came out and there was no tournaments relevant, but just some influencer saying things on social medias. Let's move format now. Let's go over to Legacy, where there was a big tournament in America, and it was took down by Mono Black Helm. This deck, I believe they went undefeated. I believe they went just took it down with very few losses. I believe they went uh, win. Just like I don't know, I think like seven wins, two draws, and then won the top eight. And their list is wild. They're playing with the One Ring, two main one side because they have the card, and then they also have the Orc. So the two best card of the new set is slotted in this winning deck. Mono Black Helm, you have access to Land Void and Dotty Void Walker. And basically, this is the same deck in Modern, right? No, not really, because you have Ancient Tomb, Seed Traders, Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual, so you're turbo getting down to play that these 4-drop, 18 4-drops. Well, 3 of them are Greek, which are free. And it's also interesting to see that there's 3 Greek, 3 Totsis. I guess zero is better than 1. A couple of Shieldra, which goes very well with the ring. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play this deck for the channel. There's gonna be more legacy content on my channel now, as I had I was practicing for these 2 events that I had this weekend. They passed, so now I have more time to focus on the content. So more legacy and maybe even Pauper. But let's talk about also Pioneer, since there was also the Pioneer Showcase this weekend, which was won by Creativity, the old list that Rita won with the Pro Tour. So no no gear orcs or things like that, but just the old Creativity list. Again, you can find that easily. But the deck I want to talk about to you is this Boros aggro deck that is popping up in Pioneer. And if you have never seen this card before, it's called PNLR Console Revival, and you revive this archetype. It's a 2/3 that gives your top tier haste, and whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from the exile, you make a 1/1 top tier with flying and haste. And you have 4 Brand's Resolve, 4 Reckless Impulse, and 3 Showdown of the Skull. So this is an aggro deck that just draws extra cards. Your Reckless Impulse, Brand's Resolve, and you can just go uh, I don't know, just Ren's Resolve on turn 2, then you go PNLR, land, you get a Thopter. That's alright, I guess it's kind of a dream card, but it is what you can do. Thanks to the... and then you're just a very aggressive deck with Kumano, Monastery Spear, Shock, and a Soulscar Mage, as well as Bone Crusher Giant, which, by the way, Bone Crusher Giant I've seen play even in Modern, thanks to the damage can be prevented, so the ring doesn't do anything against it. Okay, of course, the ring is not legal in Pioneer. But yeah, still not a fan of Pioneer. Again, I played Mono White in the Classic Qualifier, the list that I've showed as the deck of the weekend last week, the Mono White aggro one. But again, uh, there is an RC, an original championship in Lille, which I am still not qualified for, and I believe at this point I won't be able to qualify. And that's Pioneer, so I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't mind. Of course, I'd love to qualify to the Pro Tour, but I also prefer maybe to just focus on the formats that I really enjoy. But anyway, if you enjoy Pioneer, this is an interesting deck that you might want to consider, since, I mean, it's kind of budget, but like that's just the whole format though, right? Thank you everybody for watching. I'll be back as always every day on the YouTube channel. We have you have a video coming out, like a full league, and then also some bonus content of the extra weekend on Monday, and then on Wednesday we're gonna have the podcast. This time I'm trying a new thing with Javier. We're gonna do a called 1v1. And we're gonna just show up our faces as well. It's not just gonna be the audio sound of the podcast. So maybe that might interest you too. We're gonna drag some cards on the screen and things like that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.